What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 12 of the Brahma Bullpen. 12 episodes in.
Damn.
We've only got two winning episodes, man. I don't know how to do these openings anymore. It's like we come in, it's just L. Come in, L. Another episode, L. Another episode, L.
It's not easy, folks. It's not
just
easy.
It's rough, man. You can hear my voice. You hear, man? I can't talk that well. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, I did everything I could do.
Sure.
Everything I could do. I was yelling. We were screaming. Producer, go ahead and throw up the score, man. Throw up the score. Here it is. Brahmas 15, Roughneck 17. So for the last, I don't know, every week this season, we've been begging to score 15 points. And here's the Brahmas way of telling me to shut the hell up again, kick me in the face. Here you go. Here's your 15 points, and you're still going to take the L. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man, what else to do. We were down the whole game, had a good comeback there in the fourth quarter. I don't know, Haas. What did you think, man? What did you think of the game?
You know, there's a lot of things. I say this every game. There's a lot of things to look at. I don't know if Houston's defense is that good and our O-line is that bad, or if our O-line is just that bad. You know, they had 6 sacks.
It's the O-line.
6 sacks. And obviously he got hit way more than that. Poor Jack Colton,
dude, it seems like they just can't block anybody on the edge. I don't know, man. Maybe they need to, scoot back, get a little, you're allowed to be at the hip of the other O lineman. I've seen some other teams that when you're having a hard time there at the tackle position, whether it's left or right tackle getting burned all the time, they take those tackles and they put them as like maybe a half step back. That tackle has to be up on the hip of that guard. For those of you guys that play football, that's what they're looking at. You basically got to be at least at the hip because you can't cheat back too much. But, I mean, it doesn't look like a cheating back at all on most of these plays. I don't know if it's a lineup issue and the D-line's getting that step, if it's a count issue and the D-line always knows when we're going to snipe the ball. If they yell go and hike the ball after every go, we're fans, right? And I'm not watching these games at home on TV. Of course, I watch the replays later. But, when we're in the stadium, we can't tell whether or not the signals are – go and hike or if they're doing hard counts or what, man. But there's something happening where the O-line is getting beat off the ball every time the ball gets snapped. The interior seems to be doing fine. I don't feel like the interior is getting blown up.
Yeah.
It's the edges, man. And it's one of them things, man. I'll tell you what, there's a perfect picture that represents the San Antonio Brahmas season. You ready for this, House? You ready for this picture?
Come on.
All right, producer, throw up the picture of the Brahma fan rocking the neck brace. Let's get it. Boom. There you go. Look at this dude. He's got a cold beer. He's got a half-eaten chip down there on the bottom. He's got his Brahma mask on. True fan. This guy's a true fan, dude. Yeah. He's there at a losing season, paying $10 a beer, $6 for nachos. He's definitely got some health bills, right? He's definitely playing. He's got something going on.
Yeah.
And he's sweaty in that mask.
Mm-hmm.
He's sweaty in that mask. And he's doing his thing, repping the team, just supporting the boys. And that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to support the team. Man, and Haas, I'm going to tell you a story. You don't even know the story. You ready for the story?
Tell me.
So I'm drinking my sorrows away, right? Because obviously we're losing. Me and producer and a couple people, we got Brahma specific cowboy hats, and we've been on the Jumbotron a few times. So I get up around halftime and I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to get me some Brahma beer from the Brahma beer stand up there. I'm even drinking Brahma beer. Look, man, I like Yuengling, those guys are cool. I like Lone Star. But, I'm spending my money on Alamo Brewery, Alamo Brewing Company, Brahma beer, because I'm a fan and I'm going to spend my money that supports the Brahmas. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm going to get this beer, and this guy walks up to me, like I'm in the middle of a wide open concourse. there at the Dome, and this dude comes beelining straight for me. I'm like, oh man, what? Like, is the guy like about to, punch me or shake my hand? I don't know. Turns out it was Hines Ward's father-in-law. He said, "Love the hat, love the cowboy hat." I said, "Man, I appreciate that, dude. Thanks for noticing." Told him a little story about the Arlington Los Banditos with a T and how we got the hat and things. And he says that he loves the fan support. And he asked me a straight up question: where is everybody? We had a little over 12,000 people there at the game. Producer, if you want to throw up the attendance stat there, tweet from Mike Mitchell. We had 12,000. Let me get the exact number. Let me get over there. 12,243 at the game. It's not great, but they had 11,874 at the Defenders and Sea Dragon games, and they're probably the best two teams in the league. So, I think San Antonio is doing what San Antonio can do. But I told them, it's Easter Sunday. San Antonio is a heavy Catholic town. They're all, there's big Catholic churches all over San Antonio. The missions, the Alamo, like it goes all the way back to the early days of settling the state. So I was like,
we're out of town. They can be out of town.
You're taking a chance, bro. Having a game here on Easter Sunday, and then so it was cool. We talked for a little bit, and he asked me like what my opinion on how his son-in-law was doing, which I thought was pretty cool, dude. Just two guys shooting the breeze over beer, watching the home team lose. We're just trying to console each other and talk it through. And I told him, I said, look, man, I truly feel Coach Ward expects greatness. And I also feel like if he was able to make the change to get that win, he would do it. I mean, he's challenging plays, he's swapping players, he's dealing with injuries. He's doing everything he can do as a coach. He's hyping his guys up. He's making changes at coordinator and schemes. And he's tried Wildcat. He's tried shotgun. I haven't seen too much under center, but hell, man, they need to move. They need to start snapping the ball to Jack Cohen 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage to give that guy more than 1 second to throw the ball. I don't know what the heck they're going to do there. But it was cool, man. Got to talk to him, recognize us. He recognized from the podcast and from the hats. So hey, we're getting a little traction there. So appreciate him taking the time to talk to me as a fan. And I asked him to pass one thing on to me. I said, if you could do me one favor next time you talk to son-in-law, tell him the San Antonio fans are here. I said, there's 12,000 people in this stadium, and that's the 12,000. That's the base. Those are the people that are going to come all the time. I said, but we need some help. We need a home win, dude. We're 4 home games. 4 losses. We haven't been able to tailgate and walk out of the Dome as a winner yet. We got 1 game left at home. No, I'm sorry. We got 2 games left at home? Can you look that up real quick? Pull that schedule up. I know the next game is Orlando, so we got that going for us. But
week 9's home game, week 10's home game.
Okay, so we got 2 home games left. Okay, so we got 2 more chances. Maybe we'll walk out with both weekends as a win. What do you think about that, House?
That's a really cool little experience you had there.
Yeah.
And to be able to talk about that with his father-in-law, obviously he's probably going to relate that to him. But Coach Ward already knew that. Didn't he say like the reason why he wanted to be San Antonio's coach was because of the people? Yeah,
man. I think he wants more in there. Like we wanted to be in the 20s. We want to be in the 20s every game, and it's just not happening. You got a lot of stuff going on in San Antonio. But hey, man, we're here and we're doing
12,000 fans. Honestly, on Easter Sunday when the team's doing bad is more than what I expected. I thought there was going to be like 10,000. So, and we still outdid the 2 best teams. So that's something to look up to, I guess.
Let's just talk
for sure.
Let's talk a highlight of the game, a couple of highlights of the game, and then we'll do a low light. Okay. So first highlight of the game, offensive player of the year for San Antonio Brahmas, Automatic Romo. Producer, Hoss, I know you want to talk about this. Producer, rock the video right here for Romo getting that kick in clutch.
Saw this at the end of the TCU Baylor game, Hurricane field goal operation.
Clock at 8-7. It's from 49 yards with 5 seconds left to force overtime. It is good! 1 second left on the clock, and John Parker Romo delivers for San Antonio.
There it is, Hoss. End of the game, fourth quarter. Romo goes out there, knocks it through. Like not even
sweat. Never a doubt in his mind, bro.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely one of the best kickers in the league, right? Like,
no, he's the best, dude. Like, there's no doubt. He is the best under a situation, under longevity, under how many times under attempts. The dude's definitely the best kicker in the XFL. Let's not get too depressed with this loss, because there's a lot of good things that we're able to see. First of all, our kicker. Second of all, Jordan Williams. Third of all,
you see my face?
Yeah, you don't really give a damn about the stats?
Well, you know what? Since you brought Jordan Williams, let's just throw it up there. Throw up the Jordan Williams breaking the record all-time tackles in the XFL. Producer, throw it on up there. Throw it on up there. There it is, man. He broke the record. 71 tackles in the season. Previous record was 70 in 2000 year of the XFL. So, but it's also because he's on the field the whole freaking game. I mean, there's two aspects. You can think about it like, oh, man, it's good. He's making tackles. He's always on the ball. And I agree with that. Like, he's doing his job. You know, he's doing his job as a linebacker. But that leads to how horrible our offense is, right?
Well, I would say that normally that is the case, but not this game. Our time of possession Brahmas was 33 minutes, 18 seconds, and theirs was 26 minutes, 42 seconds. So we actually had the ball longer than like 7 minutes, because their stats for their defense, they had 78 total tackles and we had 44. Jordan Williams had 6 of those tackles. And he says 2 more games this season that he's probably going to get another dozen tackles, you know, especially if we're on the field longer, at least a dozen.
Yeah, for sure. He ain't done. Then we can go ahead and throw up the Fred Williams. You know, Fred Brown put up the stat, only player in the league with a receiving touchdown and a kickoff return touchdown in the XFL. That was last week's game, so cool for him. We got a little record setting stuff going on the team. It's weird to have records being set on offense, but, you know, I guess he had to do something, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have it feels like we're just down, but there is things to look up to, or at least feel good about somewhat. Okay,
so give me some stats, dude. Tell me something that made me feel good. I need it.
Well, we had over 300 yards of offense.
Dude, I didn't even notice that. That's good. That's a good stat.
We had 190 yards passing. This is before taking out Jack being sacked so many times. And then we had
5 times.
Yep. 128 yards rushing. Jacquees Patrick, bro. He's a runner-up on our Offensive Player of the Year for sure. He had 96 rushing with one TD.
What's his pass? What's his receiving? What did he do receiving?
He's got 4 catches for 38 yards.
There you go. Hey, while we're talking Patrick, throw that highlight up. Let's watch the Patrick swing pass into the end zone.
He should have a screen to the left. Should be good against pressure. Patrick sneaks out. Good hands. Got through the first. Got through the second. Jacquees Patrick. Touchdown, San Antonio.
Was that a screen pass?
I think it was a screen.
Mm-hmm.
It was, right?
Mm-hmm. It was. I've been preaching screen passes, bro. It's not hard for our offense to make plays.
If that referee had any heart, if Dean had any heart, they would have gave him the touchdown right there. But at least he was able to take it on ground. Yeah.
I've been telling you, Dean's on us for some reason. I don't know, bro.
Dean, watch it. Meet me outside, Dean. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to have some kind of XFL hitman come in here right now because I just tagged Dean on the interwebs. But man, that was good. I like seeing Patrick. That's definitely his best game of the season. I'd love for them to get the win just for that in itself.
He had over 130 yards of offense alone, bro.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great game.
That's a great game. 300 yards of offense for the Brahmas. We don't even know what that looks like anymore. That's great.
So we talked a little bit about the good, right? We saw the Patrick highlights, the Romo highlights, all that stuff. All right. There's some things I want you to see here. We're gonna play some of the bad. We're gonna play a little interview and a big man interception. We should never have a big man interception, but let's watch this interview with the replay of the big man interception, and then we'll talk about the interview. Roll it.
They're down 6, looking for Patrick, and it's batted up and intercepted. Big guy running, Trevor Mason, and he gets cut down inside the 10. 315-pound Rumble and 6'5" to get his paw on it.
And a great job initially seeing that ball is going to come out really quickly. He stops his rush, tries to drop out under.
Mason, glad it took a little bit to get to this interview. We're breathing real hard. How are we feeling right now?
Oh, I'm tired. My hip hurt. I thought I was going to hurt the quarterback. I got to get a redo on that one.
Take me through what you saw in that pick.
Man, I ain't going to lie. I seen the lineman wasn't really blocking me. And I sniffed it out, smell a rat. Screen. I seen him throw it. I tipped it, but I didn't think I was going to catch it. But it came back to my hand. I said, oh, baby, let's get it. Then I tried to score, and then it was just.
How badly do you want to score, and how'd they catch you?
I don't know how that quarterback caught me, but he caught me, though. I need to get back in the lab for real, because that was bad. No way a quarterback should have caught me.
All right, bro. Great interview. I love it. But did you hear what he said? One, he said the linemen weren't even blocking it.
Even blocking it, bro.
2, he tipped the ball, and then he was like, oh, look, it just came right back to me, right?
I didn't think I was going to catch it.
Yeah, he didn't think he would catch it. 3, he was thinking Tud, and then he even said he was going to hurdle the quarterback. You ever seen a 350-pound man hurdle anything? I was 350 pounds once in my life. I couldn't hurdle a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? And then the guy was funny, personality, loved the interview. He said
that's the most real interview you're going to get.
Yeah, he said he can't let no quarterback catch him. Even though it was an ugly part of the game, the interview was awesome. I love how real it was. I love the access for the fans, even though, it was negative against us. It seemed one day we'll be the ones getting a positive player react on the sideline. Yeah.
He's got to get back in the lab. He's got to get back in the lab, 99.
He can't let no quarterback. Hey, and he knows the same thing we know, that Jack ain't a runner. So he's like, can't let that guy catch me.
He said he smelled a rat scream on that. Yeah. Much love, 99.
So tell me our wide receiver stats. What did they do?
Landon Akers, once again, leading off our receivers at 5 catches, 62 yards. He had 6 targets. He averaged 12.4 a catch. Lees Mack, 5 catches, 36 yards. Fred Brown, 3 catches, 32 yards. Jonathan Hillman, 4 catches, 9 yards. TJ Vasher, 1 catch, 7 yards. Deion Yelder, 1 catch, 6 yards.
Yeah. What happened to Vasher and Yeldon, man? Early in the season, they were the go-to guys, and they've just been quiet the last 3-4 weeks.
Well, I mean, they went to them. They both have 4 targets, but 1 catch. Like, that's 8. You basically went 2 for 8 on them, basically. One of them for sure, TJ Vash for sure got a DPI called on 1 or 2, for sure 1, maybe 2. I don't know. I think they know that Vasher is a threat, and I think he's beating the defenses, and they're taking him out. They'd rather get a DPI because a few games ago they called him for a DPI whenever he had a touchdown pass from Benkert, and then this game it was kind of the same thing, and he got another DPI. They're taking him out of the game, but that's fine because it's leaving my boy Landon getting, whatever he can get off the slot. Man, I love that guy.
If he would have played healthy all season, we'd have had at least one more win, you think, right? Just pure.
For sure.
Hey, producer, go ahead and throw up the ESPN public relations tweet from over the weekend. So check this out, Hoss. The first overtime game of the season was between the XFL Vipers and the Battlehawks. They peaked at 1.18 million viewers during that overtime. Sunday's game, Roughnecks and the Brahmas went to overtime, peaked at 2 million viewers. So plus the last hour of the game averaged 1.4 million. So the viewership was great. Maybe it's because there was nothing else on Easter Sunday. People were barbecuing and people turn on football when they barbecue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the overtime rules in the XFL are amazing. 2 million plus viewers for the Brahmas is amazing. I wish we would have got the win. That would have been freaking sweet. But hey, man, we got. That's a positive, right? We got some views on there.
100%.
So the next thing, man, let's just go into. We already talked about the attendance and the viewership and the records that were broken in the league. We already had the neck brace Brahma fan up in here. So one thing that happened at the game, and I'm probably gonna butcher this all up, but you know me, dude. When I'm walking around the dome, I guess I'm a big guy and I'm wearing a cowboy hat, and then they see the Brahma Bullpen, and maybe some people recognize me, maybe some people don't. But then also I talk to people, right? So another funny story. This old guy, his name is STAKKSEP. Out now. I guess it's the name of a record. So let's do some kind of record deal. Throw the stat up, throw the tweet up there. I don't even know if I'm pointing the right way, to be honest with you, because my screen's always flipped. So if I point the wrong way, I'm sorry. But go ahead and throw the stack out. So these rappers, okay, walking around the dome wearing Eagles gear. And so you know me, man. I'm like, hey, you boys lost? Like, this Cowboys country down here. It's San Antonio, Texas. You walk around Eagles gear. Gave him a little rising. I saw him a couple of times throughout the game. Every time I talked some smack about him. So then I guess they looked us up, man, the Brahma Bullpen, and they asked if we were hiring to be on the podcast here. And guys got a pretty fair following on Twitter. So I was like, hey, man, I don't think I could work with no Eagles guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better change your gear. But showed me some love on Twitter. I showed him some love for repping his team, even though he's way too far south to be wearing that ugly green. You know what I'm saying? Way too far south. Then we were at the bar, and I'm talking smack to everybody that'll listen. And there's a dude ordering Tito's vodka, right? And I start telling him, I said, hey, man, they don't make that stuff in Austin, right? They make it up north and they truck it down here. You know what I mean? I told him I saw it on a podcast somewhere, whatever. Turns out the dude's like a regional manager, handed me his business card, and he's like, no, we make it in Austin.
Got him.
I was like, my bad, man. I've been drinking since like noon, so cut me some slack. But good guy, dude. So got a lot of good stories. You want to hear my last funny story from the game?
Tell me your last funny story, bro.
Game's going into overtime. Brahmas coming back. A lot of excitement. The crowd's loud. Dude, I am literally standing up, yelling at the top of my lungs, right? Producer, 2 seats down from me, sleeping.
No, bro.
Sleeping, bro. And I don't know what he's doing right now while we're recording this podcast, because he's probably sleeping again, or he would probably be texting me already. Don't talk about me on the. But dude, I feel like I'm justified. I don't make fun of producer very much on this show. Dude was sleeping inside the dome in the fourth quarter of a playoff, game that has playoff implications. Just throwing it out there. All right.
Damn.
You good with that? Good with that? All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the league. Got a couple things to talk about here. Let's go ahead and throw up the scores and kind of go down that a little bit. Producer, throw that score graphics up. So you got the early game, the 34-33 DC over these Seattle Sea Dragons. I mean, what a freaking game, man. That game was just back and forth all day, highlights all over the field, just offensive going, defense going, turnovers. It was just a great game. You got the Vipers and the Battlehawks, playoff implications up in the north, 17-21. And then you got the Renegades, in Orlando, 18-16.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Dormity's scaring me next week, bro.
Dude,
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro.
He had 6 turnovers. Give me his turnover stats. How many turnovers was he responsible for?
Hold on.
Last week he had like 6 touchdowns.
2 interceptions. He had 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. He had 303 passing yards.
Keep going. I don't mean to stop you, but there's some fumbles in there you're not counting, but that's okay.
Fumble?
They're multiple.
Well, give me was turnovers. I finished? Was I finished?
No, but you just started giving me passing stats, and we're talking. I'm trying to figure out how many turnovers this cat had.
Well, for sure, 2 interceptions. Let me see.
Well, if you're not going to give me the turnover stats, did you just
I see that they had 4 fumbles.
Okay. Yeah.
But it doesn't show me who had the 4 fumbles. Bro, there's no way he had 4 fumbles, dude.
Dude.
4 fumbles.
I'm pretty certain he's responsible for 6 turnovers. And last week he was responsible for 6 touchdowns.
Oh, I see. He had 3.
Okay, so 5. I was off by 1.
Damn.
I mean, I did watch the game. I didn't remember the exact number, but it was a lot, dude. And I was thinking to myself, what is the difference from last week to this week? Is Arlington's defense that good? And no, man, he was pressing, dude, because that was an elimination game for them. If they win, they still had a shot of making the playoffs. Believe it or not, you go into a game 1-6 and you still have a shot to make the playoffs. There's no doubt that the Northern Division is way better than the South. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But
we're not fronting out here down here.
Yeah,
we
know.
Fronting. Yeah,
we know. With that being said, we're still in it. We're still. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, yeah, he fumbled on the last drive.
Oh yeah,
man, that sucks.
Yeah. They had a chance to go win the game, and he pulled a Jack Cohn and just couldn't get rid of the ball. It was first down too. It wasn't even like it was. He could have thrown the ball away and lived to fight another down or whatever, but. Playoff implications all over the place. So DC's locked into the playoffs. Houston's locked into the playoffs. St. Louis and Seattle are fighting for a playoff position. And somehow, if we tie the Renegades, we might still be in it, may or may not be in it. We got to have to go over that playoff tiebreaker later. But let's go ahead and throw up the schedule for this week. For the XFL, so you got the Vipers playing the Roughnecks. I don't care what happens in that game. Go Roughnecks, whatever. And then you got the Guardians coming to the Dome. It's a must win, right? It's a term. It's a term that gets thrown around loosely, but it's a must win game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think Dormity's going to come into the Dome and dominate. And I think he's turnover prone at this point. So
yeah, no, he shouldn't. Dude, we held the best team in the South to like 170 yards of total offense, bro. That's amazing. So hopefully we do the same with him. But we'll see.
You got Arlington playing DC. I think that's a guaranteed loss. If DC shows up to play in DC, I think they're going to get them. I mean, and then the game of the week, right? Seattle versus St. Louis in St. Louis. The Dome's going to be rocking in St. Louis, and playoff implications on the line. I might be more excited to watch that game than I am to watch the Brahmas game this weekend. I mean, just to be honest with you, that's going to be some good football, and I really think you're going to see some NFL caliber football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if AJ McCarron is going to be back. He was injured last week, but we'll see. But that's definitely going to be the game of the week. What are you looking forward to the most, Oz? If you had to pick one game to watch this week, which one are you picking?
Well, of course, it would have to be the Brahmas, just because I want to see our offense do good. I want to see a win. I understand wanting to watch the probably best game of the weekend, Seattle, St. Louis, but for me, it would have to be the Brahmas. But then again, I'm scared to watch it because if they lose, it was a waste of time. Almost. Bro. I don't know. I'm torn.
You think you're torn? You don't even know, man. Let's go ahead. Give me a second here, Oz. I'm gonna try to pull up the tiebreaker scenario again. Let me get this right here. Tiebreaker. I know I got it in here in my notes. Dude, I got so many game notes through all of this stuff.
While he's looking that over,
go, Hoss.
I want everyone to know how good our defense has been playing. We had 2 interceptions, and those 2 interceptions were good. We have some dogs on defense that have been playing so good. Jack Corner's been playing so good. Cameron Kelly's been playing so good. Obviously, you have Delonte Scott, and then you have what's that other boy's name? Drew Beasley. I just want everyone to know our defense is so good. We need to show some love to them. They had 25 yards rushing and 146 yards passing. And that was before sacks. So after sacks, they had 137 yards. Like, dude.
So if you're in the locker room as a defensive player, you're what? Throwing chairs at the offensive guys? I mean, what are you doing?
I mean, you're yelling at them to get it together every game. But, I mean, it's hard to complain about our offense because they had over 300 yards, but with turnovers and our offensive line, you're not throwing the chairs at the offense. You're throwing the chairs at the offensive line. That's it.
I don't know, man. I think right now that whole we're a team thing is out the window, and I think defense needs to start ripping into the offense, and they need to do something, man. I don't know what it is, but something needs to happen. But here we go. So you got tiebreakers for the playoffs in the XFL. You got head-to-head. So right now, the Renegades and Brahmas are 1-1. Then you got best win-loss division game. Well, if the Arlington loses next week to Houston and we win this week against Orlando, they were both going to wind up being 3-3 in the division. So you'll go down to the third place, which is strength of victory in all games, combined record of opponents in wins. So we had the same opponents, right? We had the same exact opponents. So what you're going to get down to is best combined ranking among division teams in points scored. Haas, give me Arlington points scored and Brahmas points scored. I haven't looked at this number. I know we were winning by like a few points last time we had this discussion, but where are we at as far as points scored? If we both end up 3-3, which team has scored more points, us or the Renegades?
Let's see.
We go to standings.
Mm-hmm.
So go to standings. Brahmas have scored 116 points, and Renegades have scored 111 points. We have a 5-point buffer right now. That's how close it is. 5-point buffer. So that's where we're at. We're 2-3 in division. They're 3-2. We both got one division game left. That's how big this Orlando game is. Okay. That other tiebreaker about best overall record on combined teams, I have no idea how that will even work because we played the exact same teams the exact same number of times. So that's like a tiebreaker that's not even a tiebreaker. I guess that's, we played our division teams twice and we played the North teams once. I mean, we played every team in the North once and we played every division. Same, so it's the same. So it's going to come down to that point scored. If we lose, if we win this weekend and they lose next weekend, it's going to come down to points scored.
Even number 3, where it says combined record of opponents and wins.
It's the same. It's the same record. We played
record of opponents and wins.
We played 10 teams. They played 10 teams.
Yeah, maybe their win against, let's just say DC is different than our win against Orlando. So then.
No, because we also played DC and lost. And they're going to wind up playing the same number of times.
Dang, then there's it's kind of confusing, but then it goes into 3 or more teams. Damn.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the playoffs. But heck, I'm here for it. It's exciting, and hopefully we'll be able to get some clarity in the next week or two and see if we even got a chance to make the playoffs. That's it. week 8 in review. Producer, throw up the week 8 in XFL review. So week 8 was an exciting week in the XFL. 2 overtime games. Week 8 averaged 2-point margin of victory, 2.25, meaning all the games were close and competitive. We just went over the scores. You saw everything was right there, man. Couple of points, one play either way. You know, those games could have went either way. You know, you got the overtime average on the weekends, 2 million. Brahmas doing their part and getting that. Attendance numbers weren't that great. They're still playing that attendance numbers game. 67,000 people went and saw XFL games this weekend. You know, the XFL is obviously losing money. There's no way around it. We're really going to put it to the test on whether or not we got 2 years of funding. One of the things that we've been seeing on social media is discounted 25% XFL shop discount if you reserve your tickets for next year. What do you think, Haas? I'm a season ticket holder, and I'm definitely going to renew my tickets next year. But what do you think about the XFL coming back next year?
They got to.
I mean, they're coming back, right?
Yeah, they got to. Season 1 of a new thing is never that good. If you look at any type of TV show, any great TV show, season 1 is never really that good. It starts getting good after season 2 or 3, and then it turns into something that you just have to keep watching. So I kind of feel the same way about the XFL. It's got good ownership to do that, hopefully. And obviously the games are going to get better. I'm hoping. I mean, we got 3 pretty good teams in the league, and the rest we're trying to get there. But I mean, it's the first season. Like, there's a whole bunch of things we got to change. They've already changed so many different things already in the league. It's only going to get better. Obviously, they make the changes for the better. So, same thing.
Yeah. I think there's more than 3 good teams. I want to say there's at least 4, and they're all in the North Division, unfortunately. But so we got DC and Houston locked into the playoffs, St. Louis and Seattle fighting up there, and then Arlington and Brahmas. We're basically to see who stays standing and gets to play Houston and maybe pull a lucky charm out of their butts or something. But
no doubt.
Haas, I'm gonna hit you with something. I'm going to hit you with something. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Producer, throw up the USFL weekend schedule. USFL versus the XFL. This weekend is going to be the first weekend where both leagues have games on. The XFL is going into playoff pushes, 2 games left, a lot of drama, a lot of intense action going to be this weekend to see who's going to be able to move on. And then you got the excitement of opening weekend for the XFL, highest TV ratings that we had all year, other than the overtime games this past weekend, were the opening weekend. So you're going to have the Stars versus the Showboats, the Generals versus the Stallions, the Panthers versus the Gamblers, the Maulers who stole the Brahmas colors. They changed their colors this year, and they went straight to Brahma colors. You know, I don't know. They claim they're the Pittsburgh Maulers, but I think they play in Ohio. I don't even know, but the stupid USFL stuff. But the Maulers and the Breakers, we're going to be directly competing with USFL for viewership. How much stock are you going to be the first thing that we're going to hear, the first tweet on Saturday after the first games, and then all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and all day Monday, and probably into Tuesday, everybody's going to be comparing, for lack of a better term, it's going to be a pissing contest for USFL, XFL fans, spring fans, alternative fans, probably even some NFL people is going to look to see which league gets to be little brother next year. I don't know. But how much weight are you going to put behind the attendance and the TV rating comparisons that we're destined to see this weekend?
Well, I wouldn't put much thought into it. I mean, each league is different, right, in its own way. You can look at that.
Direct competitors, right?
Right. Well, it's just like you have the Euro Basketball League, the CBL, the Canadian Basketball League, the NBA. Like, every league's different. There's always going to be something else in that sport to watch outside of the top tier, the NFL. You have college, right? So there's always going to be other professional careers in that same sport. So I wouldn't look at it too much like, oh my God, USFL has 500,000 more viewers on TV. They have 50,000, 500,000 more in attendance. That doesn't bother me. Me personally, I'm like, whatever. But another thing to consider, how long has USFL been around?
This is our second season.
This is their second season?
Mm-hmm.
Not their third?
I mean, well, it depends. It depends on how far back in history you want to go. The USFL, since you're a lot younger than I am, the USFL actually, when it first started, competed with the NFL for players. One of the greatest running backs of all time, Herschel Walker, made more money playing in the USFL than what he got offered as a rookie contract in the NFL out of college. And there's other well-known players that had the same thing. So back in the day, the USFL made a big push to compete with NFL. And ultimately, they went bankrupt because they tried to grow too big, too fast, paid a lot of money. And then there was a whole kind of stuff going on. So then they came back last year and, they did decent, but, they're doing that hub model. And the Birmingham home team, the Stallions over there, would get pretty good attendance in Birmingham, but then like the rest of the games there'd be like 6 people in the stands because Birmingham fans weren't going to go see Houston Gamblers play a home game in Birmingham. And the USFL is owned by Fox. It's direct competition with ESPN, who's in bed with the XFL. I think the difference is Fox actually owns the USFL. So Fox has decided to stop paying for content and started creating its own content, sure, utilizing a known brand in the league. So me personally, I'm going to watch it closely. I do think that it's going to be hard for both leagues to succeed, and one of the things that we wanted to look at, USFL versus XFL. XFL starts right after the Super Bowl. Obviously, the USFL is just starting now. XFL players will have a greater chance of getting on NFL rosters because our league's going to be completely done by the time you get into roster and camp and everything. Whereas USFL guys are, it's going to be close. And so we'll see talent versus talent, but
let me ask you a question. What do you think based on ownership of USFL versus the XFL? Who has a better intake of the knowledge of the game to make it good for viewers?
Oh, it's there's no doubt the USFL. I mean, Fox is they've been producing NFL games forever. I think the USFL is. I'm an XFL guy. I wanted USFL to come to San Antonio. We had a USFL team back in the day, and then they didn't choose us, and we got the XFL. So I'm pro XFL, and I'm interested in the USFL. But I think what I've seen between the two leagues, they definitely got different business models. But right, you're asking me which one I think has a better ownership group. I'm going to say the USFL because it's owned by Fox, and whereas the XFL has Dwayne and the Rock's
following.
Well, they got Dwayne and the Rock are part owners, and then they got another investment firm, Redbird Capital, which we all know. They own the Boston Red Sox and Manchester United. They got some big sports teams, and they know how to make money off of a sports team, but this is a sports league. And I don't know, man. I think the USFL is in a little bit better position. Maybe it's because it's year 2. I do like our hub model way better. We're getting teams in home stadiums, but understand this: if you take a stadium that holds 60,000 people and you put 12,000 people in it, even if you don't open the top and if you don't open all the concessions and you cut the staffing down as much as possible, you're not making any money, man. The stadium's not making any money and the city's not making any money. You need more fans than that in the seats. And the only team right now that's actually putting money back into the XFL's pocket, St. Louis, dude. I bought hats, shirts, balls. I'm spending every freaking dime I got. Haas, look. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off. Look, Haas. I bought a football that I don't want to get dirty. Right? I'm not going to use this football.
No.
I throw like a girl. We've had this discussion. So why did I buy this football? Haas, I don't even have anywhere to put this football. It's just going to sit in my truck, right? Because this house I'm sitting in, for those who couldn't tell, who watched the episode, this room used to be full of sports memorabilia everywhere. I'm moving, and I'm going to be homeless in like 2 days, right? So, I bought this hat.
Mm-hmm.
I have custom cowboy hats. This is my 4th XFL hat. Okay. I have 2 XFL t-shirts. I bought 4. I've worn 2, and 2 of them haven't even come out of my drawer. And I'm doing this to support my team and my league. Doing everything I can. I just think that, they got to make money, and hopefully Redbird's not all talk, but we'll see what happens. I just think the USFL is in a little bit better shape right now, but I do think the XFL model of playing games in home locations is better. But I also think it adds to the cost, man, and there's not enough butts in the seats to cover the bills.
Well, and year 1, it's really tough to judge. We'll see hopefully we get to year 3, what year 3 is going to look like compared to the USFL. Who knows what next season can bring after this championship game? It's all up in the air to kind of see where the league's going to go, what position is going to be at, because who knows what could happen? Who knows?
Yeah. What do we need to do to win this weekend, Hoss, when Orlando Guardians come to town? I'm not saying score 15 points again. I'm not. Because obviously we're going to score 18.
Well, and I want to say get over 300 yards of offense and hold their offense under 200. But we did that this game and we still lost. So what do I say? Well, I don't know what to say. Give me 350 yards of offense and make them turn the ball over as many times as they did last weekend. Let's see what happens.
So we got to get 6 turnovers, 300 yards of offense, and 350, and hold them under 150.
Because we got over 300 this week, and it still wasn't enough. So,
hey, man, I'm going to go drink some honey, some hot tea, and get my voice ready for this coming weekend. It's going to be Saturday night game in the Dome. I believe it's a 6 p.m. kickoff, so tailgating is allowed to start. It's 4 hours before the doors open, so that would be 4:30. So 12:30 tailgating starts.
Just so everyone knows, tickets as low as $15 a piece. Go get them.
Last weekend, they had Brahma players walking on the Riverwalk, handing them out to anybody that would take them. I'm not joking.
No, I believe you. I was just at the Riverwalk, and there was signage everywhere, even through Riverwalk's River Center. The mall, they have all their signs up, like promoting the San Antonio Brahmas, and it's been like that the last 2 weekends.
That's good, dude. Because man, I haven't seen hardly any Brahma promotion. When you drive past the Alamo Dome, there's Brahma promotions around the Alamo Dome. But like, I spend my life on the outskirts of San Antonio, what we call down here the loops. I'm on the outer loop, and man, I don't see much of nothing. I wear my Brahma gear around, and
no one knows what it is, right?
No one knows what it is. Hey, man, I don't know. Oh, I'm on this side. When I made this shirt, the embroidery place thought I was on a rodeo team. I said, "Do I look like a rodeo kind of guy?
Does it look like he could fit on a horse, my guy?"
Could you imagine what that horse would do with me on there? Anyways, man. But hey, let's get a win.
Come on.
Then we need Houston to help us out. Houston, beat Arlington. Nobody likes the DFW, Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth area anyways.
Hey, shout out to the Houston Predator fans that was in the crowd. I don't know if you saw them. They were all done up.
I didn't.
And they were going crazy. So
I saw that Brahma fan in the neck brace, though. I think he played quarterback for us. You know what I mean? Give me a chip and a Bud Light. Put me in the stadium. Yeah, it was Reed Sennett, that guy with the neck brace. Ben Kirk was sitting right there. You know what I mean? Balaj was right over there too. And then boom, there I was. And no producer was right there like anyways.
Nice.
All right, Brahmas. Let's get a win so we can have some fun next week and talk winning football. You go with that, Haas?
Let's go.
As always, baby, we might talk smack, but we love our Brahmas. Let's go, baby. Horns forward.